Hi guys, I'm Sapphire. I'm a comedian and I'm a journalist. I'm originally from Leeds, but I've been living in London for 7 years. And what I do is I write comedy sketches and I perform them. They're satirical, so that means laughing at people who are above you, who may make rules for you. They're sketches, so they're short, snappy, comedic minutes of fun and knowledge. And I also am a journalist, so I go out on the street and I interview people. Sometimes I participate in making documentaries, and I have been doing that for 10 years. And I moved to London specifically to pursue this as a career. So last summer, I joined the comedy school in Camden, and I took part in an 8-week course on how to write comedy. And I'm going to share with you some of the things that I learned on this course. So I hope you've got a pen, I hope you've got a pad, and I hope you are ready to learn, honey, because I sure am. Okay, so let me go through with what I learned during this time. So week 1, getting started. Week 2, on your feet and building material. Week 3, comedy techniques. Week 4, gigging comics showcase. Week 5, fine-tuning the funnies. Week 6, final preparations. And on week 7, we did a showcase where we invited friends and family to come and watch our performances. Okay, so let's start off with the dynamics of creating your own stand-up course. So, understanding the dynamics. What is the essence of stand-up comedy? Well, it's communication, it's performing, and it's not exactly acting. The key to stand-up is to get into your head that it's actually a conversation that you're having with other people. Okay? And another key thing is that stand-up is personal to you, okay? So whatever you are and whatever you can bring, that's what you bring to your stand-up set, okay? Attitude. Who are you on stage in front of a live audience? What is your stage persona? And what is your emotional range? Where do you want to go with this? Do you want to talk about things that have happened in the past which are quite dark and make them comedic? Do you want to become a character and explore yourself through a character? Who are you? Generating material. What you want to say and some ideas about how to access it, okay? So when you're thinking about what you want to say, without it coming across as something that you don't want it to be, you need to think about what it is you want to say. We're going to explore the joke structure. How to organize your material and give it texture, yeah? Give it a bit of depth, yeah? Give it a bit of context, okay? Develop performance skills. How do you express it? How do you express yourself? If you know Jim Carrey, Robin Williams, it's a lot of faces, there's a lot of being goofy. Or you've got dry comedics who, Jimmy Carr, for example, who speak in a monotone voice, but it's still quite funny. There's different ways of using different techniques to make a good stand-up set. And, you know, what you'll learn in this session, you know, it's not just about performing amazing stand-up. These are storytelling skills that you'll be able to use in the future, okay? And being funny, it's cool. Like, if you can make people laugh, it's good. You know, it'll help with your confidence, it'll help with your speech, it'll help you get a job if you can express yourself and make it funny, if you can make it quite light-hearted. These are all good things, okay? So an introduction to comedy. So I'm introducing myself. I'm Sapphire. I like to write comedy sketches. And never forget, when you're writing, the audience want you to succeed, okay? When people pay £5, £7 to go to a comedy set, you know, they want to laugh, okay? So they're not your enemy. They want to see you do well. So always remember that. They want to see you do well. Comedy is subjective, okay? So what is funny is what it is about yourself, yeah? What can you bring? When I speak about comedy, I speak about my Jamaican family, who are quite often sometimes they live their life different to me as a millennial woman. I speak about being a northerner down south, because that's subjective to me. These are the things that make me unique. So think about the things that make you unique, yeah, and that will be a good step to explore your comedy set. And remember, you are your superpower, okay? So what you have, yeah, is vital to writing good comedy, all right? You are enough. you are enough. Like I said before, treat your comedy as a conversation. It should feel natural. Okay? If you're acting all like this and you're pretending to be this person, like, people will see through that. You are your superpower. For example, if you're having a conversation with a friend and you can tell that your friends become uninterested, move on to a different subject. And that's the same in stand-up, okay? When you're speaking and you can feel that the audience are enjoying it, they're not getting it, it's okay. Move on to the next subject, okay? And you'll be able to build up your writing skills as you go along. So, let's go through a glossary of comedy terms. So let's go through some of the keywords that you might hear in and around comedy scenes. So we've got the bill. The bill is the name given to comedians performing at any given club, making up the show. So if you're on the bill, you're doing stand-up tonight, honey. Open spot. 5 to 7 minutes of unpaid stand-up comedy. The open spot usually performs on a bill with paid comedians. So when you're first starting out, like me, you know, I'll be online, I'll be on Facebook looking for open spots, just so I can get going and try out some of my content. Open mic night. This tends to be the whole bill is compiled of unpaid acts. Okay, so this is an open mic night where everyone is unpaid and they're starting out and they want to get some minutes under their belt. A set, a routine. The material comedians perform from start to finish. Yeah, so you want to be able to build a setup, right? A good 5 minutes of one-liners or anything that's going to get the audience to have a little giggle. Punchline. I'm sure you've heard of punchline before. Part of the joke or story that gets the biggest response. The funny. Or we've got the gag, which is a joke. Headliner, closer. The final comedian on the bill who closes the show. Mic, the microphone. Stormer, to perform to an audience who love your material and laugh and cheer constantly throughout your set. In some occasions, they will recall you to the stage to perform a few minutes more. That's when you know you've made it, right? When you've got a stormer, when people are asking you to come back. A gig, a booking to perform at a comedy club. To die, bomb. To perform to an audience who don't laugh at your material. And this will happen. This is going to happen. This tends to happen sometimes. And that's one of the biggest things about stand-up, right? Is having that bravery to get up on stage and perform to these people. Tell your story to these people who don't know you, right? This is about to happen. But like I've said before, like with opportunities that take you out of your comfort zone, that's where the growth happens. That's where you grow. That's where you grow. And remember that whenever you're out of your comfort zone, but you're doing something you want to do, but it doesn't feel comfortable, you are growing. A callback. A reference in your set to some earlier material. So maybe you've told a story and you're 4 minutes in, and then you link that story on 4 minutes back to the story of 2 minutes. A running gag. Several references to earlier material, perhaps performed as an ongoing gag on the same subject. Double up, triple up, to perform 2 or 3 gigs on the same evening. And I know comedians that do that, you know, they'll go to one set at 7, they'll have another set at 9, and have another set at 10. Yeah, so they're in demand, they've worked up, they've established themselves, and people want them back. A heckler. Uninvited verbal participation from an audience member. Boo! You're going to get them, guys. You have to bat them off, tell them what you think about them, you move on. An agent. A person who acts on your behalf. So when you're making it big, you're getting established, you might get yourself a little agent who can help you get more work. Manager, a person who understands the entertainment business and can guide you in your quest to forge a career in the industry. An opener, first act. A persona relates to the physical quirks, mannerisms, voice, dress of a comedian. Sometimes I like to, you know, put on a different persona. Setup, the part of the joke that prefaces the punchline. Okay, so there are a few little how-tos on stand-up. And then let's go through some techniques. Okay, so we have setups and punchlines. A setup and punchline is when straightforward information is given with a punch or a twist. At the end, something unexpected. The setup should be as truthful as possible, factual and to the point. It should also give an indication of your attitude to your subject matter. It should convey clear information about what, who, or your subject is and how you feel about it. When people start writing, the most common problem with setups is that they tend to be too long. You have to be aware of your audience. For instance, a drinking audience can have a very short attention span. This does not mean you cannot only talk about a subject in 3 or 4 lines. What it means is that each chain of thought you produce should lead to a punchline, something unexpected, humorous, thought-provoking or challenging. Punchlines are the hardest things to find, hence the tendency for lengthy setups. Punchlines can come in the form of surprise ending, a play on words, audience misdirection, audience recognition, a facial expression, a well-made point, or a put down to a heckle. Remember, the comedy is in the performance as well as in the material. For instance, in your setup, you might say one thing whilst your facial expressions indicate something else. The food was delicious, whilst your face contradicts that message. The following gives you some suggested frameworks to think about your material. Attitude. I am proud. I hate. I love. I worry. I'm scared. I adore. I am proud. But I'm contradicting, right? I am proud, but I'm contradicting. So when I'm on the microphone, I am proud, but I don't look proud. And the audience can see your face. What you're saying contradicts what you mean. And that's where the humour comes from. I hate. I hate this. Eating a delicious biscuit. I love this. But my face is contradicting that I love this. I worry about this. I worry. My face is contradicting what I'm saying, right? I am scared. You're not scared. I adore this horrible piece of Brussels sprout. And everyone hates Brussels sprouts, right? You see what I've done there? Using culture. Many of you come from different regional and cultural backgrounds. Comedy audiences are always interested in different backgrounds and experiences. So like I said, I'm from the north. My grandparents are from Jamaica. I'm a black woman. So maybe I can explore what it's been like for me as a person living in the UK and make it funny. There are bound to be numerous sayings, cultural details and references and catchphrases particular to your background. Using your culture provides a good supplement to material when putting together your routine. So always remember, like I said, you are your superpower. Your story is the gold, yeah? Only you. And that goes for everything in life, not just writing comedy. Remember, there's only one you, okay? There's only one you. Observations. As a comedian, it is your job to make observations of the world around you and comment upon it. Even the most ordinary people and mundane elements of your life. In observations, comedians are often trying to make a sense out of our nonsensical world. It is difficult to sit down to write observations. It is useful to carry a notebook and jot down your observations as they occur to you. Jot them down, jot them down. It is useful to carry a You can then refer back to your notes to work with them in your routine. Within a stand-up routine, observations will generally start with, have you noticed that? Did you know that? Why is it that? Observations can often be turned into short one-liners. The audience reaction becomes the punchline. Comparisons. This is relatively simple but effective comedy technique. It offers the audience the opportunity to see things from your perspective. Take one of your broad issues or subjects and compare it to your own experience. For example, compare childhood nowadays to your own. The key categories for comparison are now, then, here, there, me, him, they, us, them. Comparisons can be used to lead into a whinge or rant and rave section of your routine. Now, obviously, we've heard so many people older than us. I'm 30. Oh, I remember in my day, you know. So maybe we could flip that because we're a bit younger and we can say, why is it always that people that are that age tend to think this, you know? Similes. A simile is a figure of speech which enables you to describe something by comparing it to something else, using the words as or like. E.g., as blind as a bat, as brave as a lion, as soft as feathers. The more you use similes, the stronger your act will become. They enable you to add texture, colour and imagery to your routine as an exercise. Practice finding similes. Mimicking. This is something I love to do, honey. Mimicking does not mean you have to do impressions of recognisable celebrities, personalities. Within your routine, mimicking refers to comments when you act out the people you are talking about, taking on their voice, gesture, posture, physicality. Audiences enjoy the transformation. In addition, stand-up tends to be visually boring. The performer, a black curtain, a white light. The more voices, facial expressions and physicality you bring to your act, the more visually interesting you become. So I used to do an impression of my boss. My boss used to talk like this, right? And it's quite funny sometimes. You know, you don't have to talk. You can just make faces. For a while, people find it funny. Don't know why. List making. A widely accepted rule of comedy is that free is funny. When you are working with lists, the first two items should have something in common, setup. Then the third item should introduce a contrast, a twist or an exaggeration to what has gone before. Okay, so that was a few techniques. We've got setups and punchlines. We've got using culture, so remember you are your superpower. We have observations, so what do you see and what could you make funny about what you see or what your grandma or your mother or your friend or your partner often does. Comparisons, so comparing this group of people and that group of people. Similes, a figure of speech. Mimicking, copying what people do, copying how people move, walk, talk, whatever. And list making, rule of three. Remember, rule of three will get you far. And to finish up, let me see what I can finish up with. Thank you for staying with me for this long, my friends. So what I want you to do from this short little exercise, I want you to list all the things unique to you. Okay, so who are you? You know, are you tall? Are you short? Do you live in East London? Do you live in Yorkshire? Do you live in Liverpool? Okay, what subjects did you like at school? If you're still at school or if you went to school, you don't go to school anymore. What are the things you like? Do you like to garden? Do you like to play sport? Do you like to walk? Do you like to ride a bike? Do you like to draw? Do you like to bake? Do you like to cook? What do you like to do? Think about you as a personality and think about your superpower and what you have, yeah? And then think about your life and the things that are in your life. How do you spend your days? Okay, and come up with a few little bios of yourself. And then try and come up with about a page of things that you find funny, or maybe things that are funny about you. Just start there and just take it slow, okay? And remember, when you're writing comedy, it's all subjective and the comedy comes from you. All right, guys, have a lovely time and stay strong during this pandemic. I'm Sapphire. You can catch me on Instagram, Sapphire, SAPPHIRE _MCINTOSH. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye.